United States be less popular than President Trump? It's because it is. It's true. The American people have been red-pilled, and they're behind him. All right, so if you'd like to call in, you're certainly welcome to do so. The number, and if you're on hold, stand by. The radio show will be beginning in a couple of minutes. The number is toll-free, 888-465-2631, okay? And it's a toll-free number no matter where you're listening, 888-465-2631, and it's pinned in the live chat. All opinions are welcome. If you agree or disagree with what you hear me saying, you are welcome to call in. But I don't know how you can disagree with this. I mean, this is it. I mean, this is a Trump-hating network. They hate Trump like the plague, okay? They hate all Republicans. You know, they celebrated when Elian Gonzalez was kidnapped and sent back to Cuba. I mean, these are, you know, they were in mourning when Hillary Clinton lost. You know, they just happened to be carrying one Trump rally during the entire campaign, the one where he got shot in Butler. So, I mean, these are people that hate President Trump. They hate him like the plague. And let's see here. Okay, we have 40 seconds, and we'll be back. Yes, it's a poll of Republicans. It doesn't matter what Democrats think. You're not going to, who cares? You're not voting Republican anyway. You know, liberals think they're so smart, but they're really stupid, aren't they? All right, we got 25 seconds, and the radio show will start. Make sure you like the video, guys, if you're just joining. And if you're new, welcome. Subscribe, all right? All right, 15 seconds. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig, and you are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. And boy, oh boy, do we have a celebration on the program today. I got a lot to cover, but the main story, the Trump-hating cable news network, CNN, has a new poll. And let me play you the audio, and then we'll talk about it. This is amazing. This is CNN yesterday, and they have their regular pollster guy. And then I don't know the name of this anchor. I can never remember his name. He's a big Trump hater, liberal. I call him Blue Steel, right? Because it looks like blue. His face, like right now, I'm in this clip I'm playing. His lips always looks like Blue Steel from Zoolander. Remember Ben Stiller's movie Zoolander, the Blue Steel? This guy calling Blue Steel. Okay, so this is fantastic. This is a day of celebration, all right? So President Trump, I'm going to just go over it again and put some more context. President Trump's approval rating, according to the latest CNN poll, is 83% among Republicans. And I know a lot of liberals in the audience, because you know they're not too smart liberals. Okay, they can even tell you what a woman is. Okay. They go to the bathroom, they don't know which bathroom you're supposed to go in based on the sign outside. So, you know, you're dealing with a short school bus kind of people. But, you know, what they'll say is, oh, well, that's just Republicans. Yeah, that's right. That's all that matters. You know, does it matter? Like, for example, Mamdani. Does it matter what Republicans think about Mamdani to you? Really? No, they're not going to vote for him anyway. It only matters what Republicans think in regards to President Trump, because only Republicans will vote for him and his endorsed candidates. And this CNN poll, of all the presidents of the 21st century, And I also want you to understand this, because you may say, oh, the 21st century, that's not that long. It's 2026. We are more than 1/4 of the way through the 21st century. Can you believe it? It's the roaring 20s, man, okay? We are more than 1/4 of the way through the 21st century. It's a pretty big deal. So CNN, what they did here was absolutely fantastic. And I'm glad they did this. We've had two other two-term presidents in the 21st century, George W. Bush and Barack Hussein Obama, and of course now Donald John Trump. You notice how MAGA people, we don't get upset when you say President Trump's middle name, John. Why are you saying John? What are you, some kind of... You say Barack Obama's middle name, they get all pissed. Barack Hussein Obama. Why do you say his middle name? What are you, a big... Well, that's his middle name, isn't it? This poll that they showed is of Bush, Obama, and Trump, polls of their own party at this particular time in their second term, at the same moment in time in their second term, okay? So President Trump is at 83% support among Republicans. At this exact same moment in his second term, Barack Hussein Obama was at 76% among Democrats. So President Donald John Trump's approval rating is 7 points higher than Barack Hussein Obama's at the same time. I want you to really think about the significance of that. No matter what Obama and his weirdo wife do and say, all Michelle does is go on podcast and talk about how rough her life is. We're so sorry. You know, you're worth $500 million. You live in a $300 million mansion. I'm sorry about your I know it's tough being you, Michelle. Oh my goodness. Go to a doctor, get some Prozac, okay? But no matter what Obama did or didn't do, he was the first black president of the United States, and that's a big deal. So how is President Trump more popular among Republicans than the first black president was among Democrats at the same point in their second term? It's because he is that popular, Donald Trump. It's amazing. And George W. Bush at this particular time in his second term had a 78% approval rating among Republicans. And I remember at the time, the Bush poll in particular, because his reelection was a tough one with that creep weirdo John Kerry, and the Iraq War was not going well, the IEDs, the surge, it was really bad. And I remember very well when that 78% poll came out with George W. Bush, it was shocking that it was so high. And President Trump, 83% among Republicans, 7 points higher than Barack Obama at the same point in his second term. And this is something that is, hey, when the other side have a win, I'm going to give it to them. The Trump-hating, left-wing, Chinese, Islamic-controlled, Trump-hating, Trump derangement-suffering mainstream media have been successful. And they've been successful in creating an impression that's just not true, that President Trump has lost his support and that his supporters are against the war in Iran and believe we're in some type of Vietnam situation here. Nothing could be further from the truth. If any of that was anywhere near being true, President Trump wouldn't be the most popular president of the 21st century. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm drunk. How are you?
You're drunk?
Question.
All right, did you say you're drunk?
Yeah.
What? You're drunk?
Yeah, I said I'm...
No, do not use profanity, okay?
Yeah.
Drunkenness is allowed, profanity is not. What got you to this? What happened? This. What'd you say?
That he's trying to ram him.
What'd you say?
The Congress.
Why
does Trump always cheat? Why do Republicans always cheat?
Why do Republicans always cheat? What are you talking about?
Why are you racist?
I don't understand your questions, but you are drunk, so
Why do you wear white sheets like a little coward?
Why do I what? Why do I what like a coward? Take calls from drunken idiots? I don't know. I got 3 hours, Yeah, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, we're starting off. We're starting off great today. I think we drove that guy to drink. I think he started drinking because he couldn't handle the news. Yeah. Oh, hold on a second here. Let's go. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, you hang in there. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, it's going to be a great day. Yeah. Uh-huh. Speechless? Oh, man. You know, I knew with this topic it was going to upset the liberals in the audience, okay? I did not realize how bad. We've got one liberal who's already drunk at 6:13 a.m. Got another liberal out there that's speechless. So this poll from CNN showing that President Trump is the most popular president of the 21st century has really driven them over the edge. All right, we're going to take our first break of the day. But before we do that, if you're on hold, hang in there. We'll get to the calls in just a bit. But before we do that, I want to talk about, who do I want to talk about? Who do I want to talk? Oh, yes, I want to talk about Jamie LeeZep over at Swift Tax. Listen, if you missed the tax filing deadline, don't worry. Call Jamie LeeZep. He'll take care of it for you. And by the way, remember, Jamie LeeZep at Swift Tax can help you with your taxes no matter where you are in the United States. I'm going to give you his number in a moment so get something to write with. And you can call or text Jamie LeeZep. If you not only missed this tax year's deadline, but you haven't filed in multiple years and you're panicked because you know one day you're going to get that certified mail telling you you're in big trouble or the knock at the door. Don't worry. Stop worrying. Call Jamie LeeZep. He'll take care of it for you. Are you in debt to the IRS? Do you owe a lot of money in back taxes, whether they're business taxes, individual taxes, payroll taxes, whatever it may be? Employee taxes, call Jamie LeeZep at Swift Tax. He'll take care of it for you, all right? And even if you've already made a deal in an arrangement with the IRS, call Jamie LeeZep at Swift Tax. You know, we had one listener who was making payments to the IRS. He owed him a lot of money. He went over to Jamie LeeZep. Jamie LeeZep reviewed his taxes and found out not only did he not owe money to the IRS owed him money. And you know what? He got money back. Isn't that amazing? Now, you hear a lot of ads on other radio stations saying, hey, you know, if you're $10,000 or more in debt, give us a call, we'll help you. Well, what they don't tell you is that those companies, they charge boatloads of money to give you that kind of help. Boatloads of money. And if you're in debt, how can you afford that? Jamie LeeZep will take care of all of it for you at a tiny fraction of what those companies you're hearing on other radio stations charge. Here's Jamie LeeZep's number at Swift Tax. Remember, he can help you no matter where you are in the United States, although he is here in South Florida. So if you're based in South Florida, you're more than welcome to go and meet him in person at his office. Call or text 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587. That's 954-773-1587. We'll be right back. Oh, man, I tell you, I've brought up a lot of stories over the years, guys. I've never had one that drove listeners to drink at this hour of the morning. Yeah, there you go. Isn't that exciting? It absolutely is. All right, let's go here. All right, I'll take a call or two during the break. Let's go. You're on the air. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
I do apologize. I was having some problems with my audio. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I'm a college student in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And I've been tuning into your show for a little bit, and I'm not really an expert about this kind of stuff. I'm here to learn.
Oh, you're trying to set me up. Okay, go ahead.
You made some. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. That was a good setup. Now go ahead and challenge what I've said.
Okay, sure. Yeah, no. So I was having some problems jumping around with my connection a little bit, but you mentioned the Iraq War, and you mentioned that Donald Trump's approval is at 83%. Among Republicans, I'm not exactly convinced that there is that much support among the Republican base.
Well, I'm not here to convince you. I'm giving you.
Okay.
My job. Are you're Gen Z?
Oh yeah, no, I know your job is.
Okay, no. I asked you. Are you a citation? I'm not a college lecturer. I'm the professor. Okay, you're the student.
No,
I'm the professor.
You're a pundit.
No, I'm the professor. I'm not here to give you citations.
That is right.
But if you got a citation, oh my goodness, this is.
No, just a reference.
I've already played 3 times. I'm going to play it again. CNN, which is the liberal news source of record, is reporting this, and they reported the historical connection to it. But I'm not here to cite you, okay, and give you footnotes. This is the real world, buddy, not Pittsburgh U or wherever you're going to school.
No, I appreciate
that. So the last caller was drunk. Are you high? I asked you if you're a member of Gen Z. How old are you?
Well, I'm 17.
You're 17? And you're in college?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Oh, really? What year were you born?
I was born in 1969.
Really? What are you, a time traveler? How are you born in 1969 and 17 years old? Get off the phone, stupid. I mean, give me a break. 1969. Oh my goodness. I've got calls drunk. I've got guys high. This is a great day. All right, we're coming back. All right. Oh, man. All right, we are back. I'm Brian Craig. It's Steve Kane Show. Okay. I took a call during the break. Oh, my goodness. I think, should I play this coming out of every break? I don't, it's a short clip. It's only like 30 seconds. CNN has a new poll. Yeah, I mean, this is, I am going to play this, I think, coming out of every break that I possibly can today. I might have a commercial I have to do coming out of some of the breaks. Then I guess in those cases, I'll play it going into the break. But playing this 3 or 4 times an hour, I really think I should do it. Because there has been, in the last week to 10 days, I'm going to tell you, full disclosure, I've been taking calls from conservatives, and the conservatives that I've been talking to, the MAGA people, they've been kind of depressed because they believe that we're losing, that Trump made a mistake. Let me tell you, one of the first things I learned about President Trump after he came down the escalator was this, okay? Trump is always right, even if you think he's wrong. And the first test, there were 2 tests early on. I can't remember which was first. But in the first campaign of President Trump, there were 2 moments where things in the press, they got all excited. They thought we're going to turn. And I'll tell you about those. And I learned that when these things happen, that Trump is always right. Don't worry. No matter how wrong they think he is, at the end of whatever period of time, you're going to find out that he was 100% right. But there were two in particular. One was the John McCain moment. I like people that don't get captured. And POW, how can you say this? And they're like saints, and da 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 da. And the press turned against him. Everyone turned against him. And the veterans groups, the VFW, and everybody, the press. How could you say this about our veterans? And meanwhile, remember, the liberals said that Vietnam veterans were baby killers and rapists, right? Like in that movie Casualties of War with Sean Penn and Michael J. Fox, right? Okay. But now all of a sudden, how could you say such terrible things about Vietnam veterans and prisoners of war? And everybody turned against Trump, except me, of course, not me ever. And then what happened? People started looking. And as informed as I was about John McCain, I learned something about John McCain I didn't know. Now, I knew that he almost sunk an aircraft carrier, okay? He landed his was it the Forrestal? He landed on the aircraft carrier, dropped a bomb after he landed, caused a massive fire where like 200 guys got burned, even deep down inside. He almost sunk an aircraft carrier in the Vietnam War, right? He did better work than the Vietnamese, the VC Navy. But he was still allowed to fly because he was connected with his daddy, who was an admiral. And after, I don't know, a few days or a week, the whole country learned about that story, right? Well, I knew about it, and a lot of conservatives knew about it because we talked about that with John McCain for years. The late, great Rush Limbaugh used to talk about McCain almost sinking the aircraft carrier and all that. And he was allowed to fly after that, and that's when he got shot down because he sucked. John McCain only was a naval aviator because his dad was an admiral and he was connected. He sucked. Anyone else who did what he did on that aircraft carrier, not only would they not be allowed to fly again, they would have gone to Leavenworth. Okay? Is that where the Navy sends their prisoners? They go to Leavenworth too? I guess. That's where he would have gone. But not John McCain. And it took a few days, a week at the most, and then everyone's talking about John McCain's with the aircraft carrier. And one thing I learned, though, during that period, I learned something about John McCain I did not know. Now, I met John McCain once at the Republican National Convention many years ago in the 90s. And I took a picture with him, and he couldn't lift his arms up. You know, John McCain's arms only went up as high as, you know, like if you ever watch those diagrams that show you how to properly lift and carry a box, you know, like if you go to U-Haul and they got this thing. It was like he was holding a box. That's about as high as he could hold his arms, right? And what I had heard my whole life is that he was tortured those 7 years, 5.5 years, however long he was in the Hanoi Hilton, and his arms were that way because of the torture that he endured, and he refused, and he fought That's all a lie. His arms were broken. Both arms were broken in the crash, and the VC set them wrong because they sucked. Their doctors sucked, and his arms healed that way. So John McCain was totally disgraced. I learned right then and there, President Trump is always right, even when you think he's wrong. And that's why when John McCain died, his family had like 12 funerals for him, remember? They had funerals all over the country. They were dragging his body all over the place. You know, it was ridiculous. It took like 6 months of funerals before they finally laid him to rest. The other time was the Access Hollywood grab him by the blank. Oh, they thought they had him with that. They had Mike Pence even criticizing him. You know, Mike Pence, whose wife will not let him be alone with a woman. You know, if there's a guy that I know whose wife will not let them be alone with a woman, you know what that usually, I'm not saying this is true with Pence. You know. but if I had a friend, and think about this, you guys, if you had a friend whose wife would not let them be alone with a woman, what would you think? You'd think that he was screwing around on his wife and she doesn't trust. Exactly. That's what I would. I'm not saying that's true of Pence. All right. But, you know, that's what you think. So, and everybody was criticizing him. And he got disinvited from this big Republican event. And then we found out, oh, no, that's not what he said. He said the women. He said this was my first time in Hollywood since the Apprentice became the #1 show on NBC television. And it's my first time in Hollywood with a TV show that's #1 on TV, and all these actresses are trying to buddy up with me now because they want to be on my TV show. And he says they'll do anything to get on a TV show, these actresses. They would even let you grab them by the blank if you wanted to. He never said he did that. So, so with those two instances in the first campaign, I learned President Trump is always right, even when you think he is wrong. And with his 83% approval rating, that is certainly the case. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. Our number is toll-free 888-465-2631. I want to talk about Mike Lindell at MyPillow. He's in first place in the Republican primaries. I'm going to go through this later. Mike Lindell is running for governor of Minnesota, and he's in first place by a lot. I'll get into that later in that Republican primary, and he's gotten the endorsement of President Trump. So listen, guys, go to MyPillow.com. Use our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, for huge savings. The Mega 2 sales going on right now. Huge, deep discounts on so many of the most popular products. I want to talk just for a moment, though, about the 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets. My wife and I have been sleeping with the 100% MyPillow Giza Cotton Dream Sheets since Mike Lindell released them. So it's been years and years and years. I'm going to tell you two quick things about these sheets. You got to get them. By the way, they're under $30 with our promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout at MyPillow.com. They're 100% Giza cotton. Giza cotton is the finest cotton in the world, and that means the sheets have temperature regulating abilities to them. In these hot summer months where the heat index is over 100 degrees every day, you go to bed at night with the 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets from MyPillow, it's like you've got an air conditioning in your bed. You are cool and cozy all night. In the wintertime, it has the opposite effect. It keeps you warm and toasty. So go to MyPillow.com. Use our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, for the savings under $30. You can also order by phone toll-free, 800-716-4879, 800-716-4879. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour, come back with your calls and more after this. All right, guys. Yeah, let me play this again. It's so good. If you're on hold, stand by. I'll go to the phones when we get back. I'm glad I took that one call during the break because I really don't think that was worthy of the radio. All right, let's go. I mean, does that not make you feel good? That's right. That's right. All right. Now, if you're on hold, hang in there. If you would like to call in, the number is toll free and it's pinned in the live chat. 888-465-2631. We've got about a little less than 90 seconds and we'll be back. Okay. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are tuned in from. And if you're new, welcome to the program. Subscribe. I am live every morning of the week, even the weekends. And when I'm in the studio, like I am now, I take live calls, all right? And the phones are pretty busy here. I will take the calls in the order in which they were received, okay? Let's see here. Okay, let me just, okay, there we go. All right, yep, everyone's on hold. There's two openings on the board. And if you guys could do me the favor of liking the video, that'd be really awesome. You know, liking the video, just over a minute, we'll be back. When you guys like the video, it gets the video recommended to people that have not yet found the channel here on YouTube. So please like the video. It does help a lot, and I do appreciate those of you that do like the video. Thank you for doing it, and please continue to do it every day. All right, just over a minute, and we will be back. And I'll go right to the phones. I'll take the calls to the best of my ability in the order in which they were received. All right? Okay, less than a minute. Oh, my goodness. With this poll number, I don't even need coffee hardly. Well, I do. I need coffee, but, you know, but it's almost like I don't. Oh, boy, 40 seconds. Nope, you're all welcome to call in. That's right. All opinions are welcome. No profanity, but all opinions are welcome, whether you agree or disagree. Okay. 20 seconds. Do you agree? Yes or no? Is President Trump always right? Yes or no? All right, we're back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, that was wrong what you did about John McCain making fun of him. What did Cake Spread do over him when he was in combat?
What did who do?
Your little Secretary of War there. What did he do when he was in combat? He was a disgrace.
Really?
Hey, there is.
What did he? Who are you talking about? I don't know who you're talking about.
Your little buddy Keith, whatever his name.
Keith?
Hegseth.
I don't know anybody named Keith Hegseth.
Heath. You know what I'm talking about. The greaser. The Secretary of War.
A grease?
He was a terrible soldier, and he was really a National Guardsman.
Who was activated and sent to Iraq and Afghanistan.
I don't care about that CNN poll.
You don't care? Oh my goodness. We're having some, who's Keith Hegseth? Does anybody know? I mean, I'm pretty up to speed on the news and newsmakers and everything, but this Keith Hegseth guy, I'm not sure who that is. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Doc from Texas.
Oh, hey, Doc.
Hey, man. How you this morning?
Oh, how could I not be doing incredibly well with this? President Trump's more popular at this point in his second term than Barack Hussein Obama was.
Okay, that's fine. That's good. He's more popular among Republicans. That's good.
Yeah. That's all. Those are the only people that matter.
Okay. You know, there's other people in this country besides Republicans. You do know that, huh?
What?
You do know there's other people besides MAGA Republicans, don't you?
Yeah, but see, it doesn't matter what people that are not Republican think about President Trump.
It does matter because they vote.
There's nothing President Trump could do that would get you or any of your Trump derangement suffering Democrats to vote for him. He just gave us the law.
Okay.
You know, I mean, you know, think about this. Excuse me for speaking while you're interrupting. Think about this.
I was talking, Brian. I was talking.
Think about how many women.
I was talking before
Well, I'm talking now. Think about how many women have not been.
So rude, Brian? Why you so rude, Brian?
Think about how many women.
Why are you so rude, man? Why are you so rude?
You're the one that's interrupting. Think about how many women have not been raped or murdered in the last year and a half because President Trump has shut down the border and been deporting these illegal criminals for the last year and a half. You don't even agree with him doing that. You're arguing to get more rapists and murderers in the country.
Shut up for a second. Let me talk.
What?
Shut up for a second. You don't. Nobody never told you. Okay. So you really think? you really think rape and murders? All people making only people who are committing rape and murder are illegal aliens? You really think that?
No, but I know that most of them were because right now, how do I know? Because the because the murder. I'm going to tell you how I know. I'm going to tell you how I know. The murder rate in the United States is at its lowest rate in 126 years since they started keeping the murder statistics in 1900. The only change in the last year in the country is shutting down the border and deporting the criminal illegals. So you think it's just a coincidence that the murder rate is at its lowest rate?
And you know, it was already going
No,
up.
it was going up. It was going up because Biden was bringing them here.
Look it up. It's
I don't have to look it up. I know. I'm informed.
I know too.
No, you don't.
I'm informed too.
Yes.
Yeah, I am too.
So my point is, it doesn't matter what Democrats think because you're arguing against him kicking out murderers and rapists right now. He kicks out rapists and murderers, and you're upset about it.
He's kicking out people that's going to work every day.
Well, some people before they go to work, they rape and murder a woman, then they go to work.
Are you that
all right?
stupid? Are you that stupid? Are you that stupid?
Oh my goodness! Because you're here arguing for you're here defending rapists and murderers that are being deported.
I'm not defending rape and murder. If they did, they get deported. But he's not deporting. He's deporting people in this country trying to earn a living, Brian. And you know that.
When you're here illegally, okay, and you're working, you're breaking another law.
Brian. I mean, listen, sometimes they say, I thought your name is Brian. Brian.
Brian. It's Brian Craig. Okay? Yeah, hold on. I'm answering all the lines. Yes. You're so upset by this poll, you can't even remember my name. You've been calling me for how long? How many times have you called me and you forgot my name? I've got drunk callers, high liberals. You sound like you're suffering a concussion.
No, I'm not, Brian.
You call me almost every day and you forgot my name.
Jesus. I didn't forget your name.
You said, what's your name? Is it Brian?
Because people say I don't pronounce your name right.
Uh-huh. Okay. Whatever. Doc.
You know what?
What?
Hey, Brian, you have a good day, man.
Uh-huh. Oh, boy. This poll has him freaked out, man. Hey, Mike, is the delay on? Make sure before. Gee whiz. Let's play it again. Wow. President Trump is the most popular president in his second term of the 21st century. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I am calling from Illinois. My name is Steven, and I'm 42 years old and a former Republican.
A former Republican? How does that happen?
Well, I just don't agree with what Trump's doing in this term.
Oh, really? Oh, so you were okay. So you became you left the Republican Party when?
Actually, when the whole Epstein thing went down.
Oh, you mean when President Trump signed into law a federal law, making it federal law to release all the Epstein files, and we found out he was the one who turned him in to the police and worked as an informant for the FBI. You're upset that Epstein was brought to justice by Donald Trump? Is that what you're upset about? Oh my goodness! Let me ask you. Let me ask a serious question. Have you been incarcerated in jail in Illinois for the past 6-7 months? Because you've got a talking point that's like 7-8 months ago.
No, I have not been incarcerated.
Okay. Have you been in a coma?
No.
Okay. So you are aware that President Trump signed into law a bill that made it the law of the United States to release all the Epstein files. They were released, and we found out that he was the person that turned Epstein into the police and was an FBI informant. You are aware of that?
Because he was forced to.
He went to the police before anyone knew, and the police chief from Palm Beach came out and gave an interview and confirmed it, and it was also in the files. Oh my goodness.
Why are we yelling here? You're yelling, and I'm talking calmly. You're yelling.
So what's the reason for your call today, former Republican from Illinois?
Well, okay, you're
What? What am I? No profanity. No profanity. What am I?
Your Republican approval rating.
Yes.
That CNN posted.
Yes.
Of course, that's going to be high because aren't they on the same team? Let's talk about the national average, though.
That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because I'll tell you why it doesn't matter. Because only Republicans are going to be voting for Republicans. Democrats like you are going to vote for Democrats.
That's national average matters a lot.
No, it doesn't.
Really
It doesn't. Because the midterms are coming up, right? Democrats are going to vote for Democrats. Republicans are going to vote for Republicans. It doesn't matter what listen, I was just talking to the last caller. Donald Trump has given us the lowest murder rate in the history of the United States. The sexual assault rate is at a historic low because of deportations. He gave us the largest tax cut in history with the big, beautiful bill. Nothing he does will get you Democrats to support him. It doesn't matter what you think about him.
Big, beautiful bill that's going to take health care from
my goodness. For millions of illegals? Yes, I know. Millions of Really? Seniors aren't going to have Medicare? Did you just make that up? Or come on. You're pathetic. Seniors are good. Okay, and your mother's going to lose her Medicare? I missed that part of the big, beautiful bill. Where's it at? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Why don't you just tell us you're a Democrat? Why you got to pretend to be some former Republican?
Because I voted for Trump during his first term.
Okay, and why'd you vote for him?
Because he had good policy.
Which one? What was your favorite policy?
Well, for one, the whole trans stuff, which is
that wasn't even being discussed in the first election. That stuff came later. You know, if you stuck to the truth, you wouldn't look so foolish. Lying, pretending that you're some Republican that voted for Trump and you're disillusioned, it's falling apart.
So you're going to tell me how I voted when you don't even know me.
I know.
That's gaslighting right there.
No, it's not gaslighting. I've talked to tens of thousands of people on the phone over 35 years of hosting this show, and I have the ability. I knew from the first syllable out of your mouth that you were a Democrat. Okay, I've got a good ear and a strong skill set of doing this for 35 years. So and everybody in the audience knows you're a Democrat. You know,
I'm sure.
Yeah. You said you voted for him in the first term because of his trans policy. That wasn't even an issue then. In the first election, nobody even thought about men would play on the girls' team. Then that came later. Your time frame's off because you're lying. Like that's You want to confess that you're lying? It's okay to be a Democrat. We're not going to think any less of you. How could we? Get ready,
Actually,
Mike.
yes, he did.
What are you, Googling? You asking ChatGPT? Am I talking to you or ChatGPT?
What, I can't fact check?
My goodness. My goodness. If you were really a Republican, you wouldn't have to use ChatGPT, man. I'm just using the knowledge and information in my brain. But you're trying to create create an avatar here.
This in 2017. How about you didn't know about that?
What?
Not so much.
That wasn't the first campaign, man. The campaign was 2 years before that. It was before the trans stuff happened. It wasn't an issue in the first campaign. I don't care that there's some news article about a trans person in 2017. That was 2 years after the campaign. Just admit that you lied, that you're a Democrat, and you're trying to pull something over. I can respect that.
I am a Democrat now.
Oh, you're a Democrat now. What makes you a Democrat now?
Because he is a PDF.
What? A file? A PDF file? Oh my goodness. Get off the phone. He's a document? A PDF file. I've got a PDF file on my desktop right now. It's the Cuba plan, right? Oh my goodness. You know, I remember doing the show before the internet. It was a whole nother thing. And then when the internet happened, you know, people would Google and stuff. Now, half the time I'm talking to ChatGPT. That guy even admitted it. Oh man, it's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We'll be right back. Oh my goodness, guys. We're in radio break now. These callers today are unhinged. Oh my goodness. Yeah, do you guys have any PDF documents? Oh my goodness. All right. All right, okay. Hold on. Okay, hold on, guys. I'm just communicating. Okay. 2. Okay. Oh man. All right. So if you're on hold, stand by. I'll take more calls when we get back from the radio break. But the callers on hold so far, I mean, that we've taken so far. Oh my goodness. People are at every liberal I've talked to today has been completely unhinged. And the reason that they're so unhinged is because their whole reality has been shattered, because they had convinced themselves that everybody hated Trump. Now, if you'd like to support my content, guys, become a Patreon supporter. There's a link in the description of the video. And if you become a Patreon supporter, you get access to a lot of exclusive content, including my daily Patreon live streams, okay? Every day on Patreon, I do a live stream, and it's much like the live stream here on YouTube with a live chat and everything. It's a troll-free zone, and I talk about things that I cannot talk about here or anywhere else. And I discuss all those things on Patreon. There's a link in the description. Now, when you go there, there's an option to become a free Patreon supporter. If you choose that, you don't get access to any of the content. You don't even see it. You have to be a paying Patreon supporter, which starts at just $5 a month. And not only do you get access to all the future content, you get access to the entire back catalog, which goes back years and years and years since I've been on Patreon. So again, become a Patreon supporter, support the program. There's a link in the description. In fact, I had a really good Patreon supporter live stream early this morning, very early this morning, with my wife, who was up early too this morning. All right, we'll be back in just over a minute. If you're new, welcome. Make sure you subscribe, and you'll enjoy the program, I promise. And everyone, please like the video. We'll be back in 1 minute. Less than a minute. Oh my goodness, I'm glad I checked. We'll be back in 25 seconds. Oh my goodness. Ah, 15 seconds, guys. Welcome back. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. The callers today, the liberal callers have really been unhinged today. This is Wacky Wednesday. Yes, these are real people that are listening to the program that are calling in. I know it's hard to believe. That last guy, oh my goodness. But, hey, listen, we've had a few today that have been unhinged, unglued, and and what's happened is this new CNN poll. See, this is why I share them from CNN, because if I shared this poll from Fox, from Breitbart, from Newsmax, they would discount the source and say, oh, that's a conservative source. So when you use the information from a liberal source, they can't do that. So if I had not used the CNN story for this and used one of the other places, these callers, they would say, oh, that's Fox, that's Breitbart, oh, that's Newsmax. And what's happened since CNN is reporting this, it has shattered their reality. So why do you think CNN has shared this? Well, let me play it again for those that are just tuning in, and then I'll tell you why CNN is sharing this. Okay, so 3 presidents have had 2 terms in the 21st century: George W. Bush, Barack Hussein Obama, and Donald John Trump. Donald John Trump, he has an 83% approval rating among Republicans, which is 7 points higher than Barack Hussein Obama did. It's 76% approval with Democrats. A historical figure, the first black president of the United States. Trump is more popular than him. So it's amazing, isn't it? Absolutely. So, and another thing that has these liberals totally freaking out is their reality is being destroyed when I explain to them that they have no power. It doesn't matter what Democrats think because they're not going to vote Republican anyway, so they don't matter. So why is CNN sharing this? Well, it's part of the war that the Democrat establishment have with these Democrat socialist commies of America. CNN wants the Democrats to lose the midterms, so they took a brief moment here to report the real news, right? They're trying to discourage the Democrat Socialist of America. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Steve from Staten Island.
Hey, what's up, Staten Island Steve?
Well, the thing is I've been listening, and I tell you, it's one of these idiots who are really just condemning Trump. I mean, he's done it, as he said, a fantastic job he's been doing. It's just these people still just can't take the fact that he's doing it right. Biden and all the other Democrats are doing it wrong. And we see the results, and they just don't like it.
Well, Trump has always been this popular. Always, right. Since he came down the escalator.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
They thought like he was a joke, but then they realized, hey, this guy's serious, and damn right.
And
he loves
see,
this country, and he wants to make sure.
Exactly. And the reason CNN is sharing this real news with these polls, they want the Democrats to lose the midterms, because if they lose the midterms, they can blame the Democrat Socialist of America and purge those commies out of their party before they take it over. So think about the Democrat Party establishment, part of their tactic, and you're seeing it here on CNN, to defeat this Democratic Socialist is to lose the midterms. They're actively trying to lose the midterms. It's amazing.
No, I understand. I think I can agree on that, because the Democrats have been infested with these idiots who are really socialists and all this.
Communist.
And even the good Democrats are saying, this is not what we stand for.
Mm-hmm.
They're being, it's like an infestation on the Democrat side. You're right. They have to clean that crap out.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. All
The
right.
only way to do it is to
Lose.
Okay.
Lose. They want to lose. If they lose, a lot of them won't win their elections, but some of them will because they're in safe districts like these idiots in New York City. But they can blame them for the loss. Oh, the Republicans won because of these Democrat Socialists of America. That's what they're trying to do. The Republicans did that with the Tea Party. You know, the Tea Party won a bunch of seats in 2010, and 2 years later, they got almost all of them out of office, the Republican establishment, for the very same reason.
Exactly.
All right, appreciate the calls.
Okay.
All right, you take care. Staten Island Steve, take care. I want to talk to those of you who are suffering from neuropathy or who have a family member suffering from neuropathy. Neuropathy, I don't know if it's considered an official disability, but it should be. You know, you may have neuropathy and not even know it. Lighthouse Medical can let you know. They'll examine you and find out. But neuropathy is the worst. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in your hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, dizziness, falling down all the time. You know, that's deadly. You fall down, you hit your head, you're dead. You fall down, you break your hip, you're in trouble. Muscle twitching, the feeling of pins and needles in your hands and feet. Maybe you have no feeling at all. You know, neuropathy makes life really difficult, but you can get your life back no matter what stage of neuropathy you're in. Now, you want to get in there as early as you can because you don't want to have this life of suffering, but even if you have advanced neuropathy, and I mean really advanced, call Lighthouse Medical. They can help you too, all right? They have a treatment that works. I've seen it work in many of our listeners, not just Steve Kane, but many of our listeners as well, including some of our cruisers. Call Lighthouse Medical. When you call, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show so you can take advantage of their no-charge consultation. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. That's lighthousemedicalcenter.com. All right, 1 hour down, 2 to go. Call us on hold, stand by. You're welcome to call in about anything I brought up so far. I have some other topics that I'm going to get into after the top of the hour break, but I will recap this great polling information throughout the entire show. The number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back. All right, guys, hang in there. We'll be back shortly.
What if the past you've been running from is the only thing that can save the people you love? Author Alina Bolstad brings the Old West to life in a story of redemption, sacrifice, and family. The Death of Laura Black, available on Amazon. Laura Black was once an outlaw, living a dangerous life filled with crime and violence, but she's left that world behind. Now she wanders the wilderness alone, carrying the scars of her past and the secrets she's trying to bury. Everything changes when she discovers the only family she's ever known is in desperate need of help, and she's the only one who can save them. Can Laura face a ghost of her past, or will the life she's escaped finally catch up with her? Find out in this unforgettable Western adventure filled with action, heart, and strong characters. The Death of Laura Black, from author Alina Bolstad. Available on Amazon and Kindle, paperback, and free with Kindle Unlimited. This book also makes a addition to your book club. Order your copy right now. Are you retired and wondering what comes next? Passions, hobbies, knowledge, and skills could become the foundation of a profitable online business. At retirementprogram.org, you'll discover a practical internet marketing strategy designed to help everyday people just like you create additional income from what they already know. With retirementprogram.org, you'll learn how to build your very first website, even with no programming experience. Discover the basics of getting your website found on Google. Learn to attract targeted visitors and turn that traffic.
Yeah, again, it's got to be done again. Okay, we're still in radio break, so if you are on hold, hang in there. If you'd like to call in, the number is pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. Those of you that are watching on the vertical live stream with the green behind me, if you go to my main stream, you can see and hear all the audio and video that I share. Okay, it's on my main video right here on the channel. So just hop over there. We're about 90 seconds away from returning. Oh. Sorry, guys. All right. All right, stand by. All right. Okay, we got 40 seconds and we will be back. All right, let me get into this. I'm gonna talk about this thing in New Jersey. What is it? 6,600, right? Yeah, 6,600. They don't say, they say non-citizens, right? Hang in there. 20 seconds. All right, hour number 2 has begun. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig, and what a great day this has been. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, good morning, Brian. Chris from Pompano Beach.
Oh, hey, Chris.
Hey, next year will be my, my own anniversary, Steve Kane Show, 20 years.
Oh, my goodness.
So I found you guys when I was doing the overnight.
Oh, when you were on the...
2007.
Yes.
And, I've listened to, again, the show 20 years, and the liberals, they come and go, and, they're I don't know, they trend with whatever.
Yep.
CNN they say, but, they've doubled down since then, but, you guys, you and Steve have definitely boosted my knowledge and sanity, because I used to be kind of short with them. Audacity and stupidity I have patience for over the years.
Yes.
But your callers today, oh my goodness. I've listened to you over the years, give them a lot of facts and truth, and they'll ignore it, and which is why I have no respect for that, because it's one thing to use the sandwich theory and say, hey, yeah, that's a great thing President Trump did, but, I don't like his Muhammad Ali trash talking and bragging, but, it's great for the country. None of that. They just dismiss everything. Like you said, that one listener, you mentioned that the women that are safer from rape and crime and our voting integrity.
Well, think about it. The Democrats voted against the Lincoln-Riley Act. Lincoln Riley was not raped. She fought off her attacker and gave her life to prevent it. He murdered her. His plan was to rape her. Then he would have murdered her. And the Democrats not only voted against that Lincoln-Riley Act, they wouldn't stand in support of her, in honor of her mother. Remember that? These are, so who cares? These are the defenders of women's rights?
It's absurd. And then they still have the nerve to bring up, this is my favorite debate with them. Every one thing they bring up about a negative for a Republican or conservative, I can, off the top of my head, I can name 5 that their own leaders, they support you.
That last caller trying to pass himself off as a disillusioned Republican who walked away because of Trump. My goodness.
Good call. But you know what? Right away, and I love how you handle that call. But right away, I picked up on that too. I'm like, okay, yeah, right. Brian, I'll take care of this one.
I didn't even break a sweat.
I hate to see it and hear it. Listen, Democrats are coming around. more and more. Some of them are, now they're like 20/80. They're 20% holding on to what they think the party used to be 30 years ago. But they see reality because what President Trump is doing is great for all Americans. So they understand that.
Well, one of the problems they have is I remember that to get a call from a black Republican was like an annual event. It happened like once a year on the phones. Maybe every 2 years we get a black Republican, And I used to joke around with Rush Limbaugh. Rush Limbaugh would get a black conservative calling in, and all of a sudden Rush was not a talk show host. He was an anthropologist, and he would hold them over breaks. It was like he found somebody that escaped this lost tribe of black conservatives living somewhere in Africa, and he would talk to them for 35 minutes, But now it's like every other black person who calls in, even more, is a conservative. It's commonplace now. It's not that unusual.
And trust me, unfortunately, we were in the closet, even around family, because again, the lack of knowledge. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The brainwashing, and so they chastise you like most of the intolerant Democrats do. You know what I mean?
That's exactly right.
It wasn't worth it.
That's exactly. Well, Chris, I appreciate the call, man.
Have a good one.
All right, you take care. So I want to play. This is yesterday, and this is the governor of New Jersey with the 6,600 non-citizens registered to vote. Oh, please.
That is more than 2 years ago. I learned of this last Wednesday, and I immediately ordered my chief counsel to launch a comprehensive investigation. Currently, the Division of Elections is working to ensure anyone who is illegally registered is removed.
Oh, is removed. Okay. So it's not that there are 6,600. They've found 6,600 on their register. And you know what, when I was talking about in the last hour how, President Trump is always right, even when you think he's wrong. Not that I ever think he's wrong, but I'm talking about those of you that might. He gave that address to the nation about all the illegals and everything registered to vote, and the whole media laughed at him. Oh, it's not true. And since then, we've been hearing stories all over the country of it being true. And the liberal response is always the same. Well, I played a clip the other day where they were laughing. It's only 250,000. There's 6 million, 60 million voters. It's only 250,000. Oh, it's only 6,600. I want to remind you of this. When George W. Bush beat Al Gore in 2000, do you know how many votes he won by? How many votes did George W. Bush win the presidency by in 2000 against Al Gore? You know how many? About 150. About 150. That's right. About 150. Most of the most people, the political parties and the networks have advanced statisticians with the most advanced scientific mathematical compute. It's true. George Bush won Florida by about 150 votes. And that decided the whole presidency of the United States. So don't tell me that 6,600 in Jersey ain't no big deal. Or 250,000 in 4 states ain't no big deal, because so many. And this is why. Most states, most people, most communities are already decided. And sometimes when you're watching on election night, how many times have you seen a race call, in particular a House race, but sometimes entire states, when they only have 1 or 2% votes in? That's how scientific it is. Things are that close. So 6,600 here, 250,000 there. If 150 can win the presidency in 2000, like it did. Remember, the whole presidency relied on Florida in 2000, the recount with the hanging chads and all that. And President George W. Bush won by about 150 votes. And I remember E. Clay Shaw, who's passed away, he was a great Republican congressman. We had him on the show one day, This is when Bush was president, GW. He said, yeah, I was just I was just in the Oval Office yesterday, and I was joking around. I said, hey, Mr. President, I won my House seat by more votes than you won the White House. And he was laughing, And I said laughing, not laughing. I'm like AOC, right? I'm doing AOC. But this is a big deal. And you notice since President Trump gave that speech last week that we've been getting all kinds of stories like this all over the country. So don't let anyone tell you that speech didn't mean anything. Now, I got a lot of things I want to cover on today's program. You are all welcome to call in about anything I brought up so far. But I want to take a moment to talk about Sloman's central air conditioning. There's no doubt about it. In the state of Florida, air conditioning is life, especially this time of year. And you know what? Next month is worse. And then we've got September and October. I can remember when my daughter was a little girl, we go trick-or-treating, I would come home soaking wet with sweat. It's hot, man. It's hot, and it's going to get hotter. If your air conditioner is blowing hot air, if your air conditioner is running all day long and never shuts off, if you have rooms in your house that are warm all day, no matter what you set the thermostat to, you need to call Sloman Central Air Conditioning. There's no excuse not to get a new and upgraded system. Listen to this. Sloman Central Air Conditioning is offering a high-efficiency, 5-ton, 18-SEER system that uses R454B refrigerant for just $59.99. This is an incredible deal. Also, they're offering just $59.99, that's right, with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. Your Sloman Central Air Conditioning system also comes with a 5-year bumper-to-bumper service plan, including annual system maintenance, filter replacement, and refrigerant, so there's no annual maintenance cost. You'll also receive the Sloman's Shield home security system installed with 5 years of professional central station monitoring included with your AC package. Give them a call right now, 561-217-COOL. 561-217-COOL. That's 561-217-COOL. We'll be right back. All right, guys, hang in there. We'll take a quick break, and if you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, the number's pinned in the live chat.
Life can leave us with a lot of questions. Why did this happen to me? Why do I keep repeating the same patterns? And where is God in all of it? If you've ever asked those questions, you need to tune into the Healing Philosophers podcast with the Healing Philosopher on Spotify. Through honest conversations and real-life experiences, each episode explores topics like healing from past hurts, generational karma, letting go of what's holding you back, understanding narcissism, and discovering how God can use even life's hardest moments for a greater purpose. The Healing Philosophers podcast is about finding hope, growing in your faith, and realizing that your story in every season of your life has meaning. Add the Healing Philosophers podcast to your Spotify playlist, and make sure to share the podcast on all your social media, and invite your friends and family to listen in too. Your share could be exactly what someone else needs right now. The Healing Philosophers podcast with the Healing Philosopher on Spotify. Healing starts with one conversation. Listen now on Spotify.
All right, we'll be back in 1 minute. We're still in radio break. Now, that poll, which I'm going to recap when we get back because I haven't done it this hour, it was only part of the poll. There were 2 other bits from that poll that I want to share that are very important and very good news for the country. All right, if you'd like to call in, the number's toll free. It's pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are listening. And everyone, please like the video if you've not already done so. Liking the video gets the video recommended to people that have not yet found the channel. So liking the video helps so much. So please do that, guys. All right, stand by. 15 seconds. All right, welcome back, everyone. Okay, I'm going to recap the poll I shared in the first hour, but there's a couple other bits from that poll that I have not shared yet that are also incredibly good news. We are almost halfway through today's show, and I've only gotten to 1% of my show prep. So here's the great Trump poll, and then I got two other clips from this poll. This is CNN talking about President Trump's approval rating. Okay, so President Trump has an 83% approval rating among Republicans, a higher approval rating than Barack Obama by a lot, 7 points among Democrats at the same point in his second term. But Darlene Graham is the sister who was adopted by Lindsey Graham, that he raised as his own. She was appointed to finish out his Senate term, and she just said the other day, she told the White House that she's running for her brother's seat. And same poll from CNN, what are the chances of Darlene Graham, Lindsey Graham's sister slash daughter, winning? Well, so look at the power of the Trump endorsement. On Friday, her chances of winning, Darlene Graham, 14%. President Trump endorses her. Her approval numbers go up to 80%. 66% increase just because of the Trump endorsement. So that's great. We got that locked up. And then this is the final leg about Trump's endorsements for Senate primaries. Okay, these are Trump endorsements for Senate primaries in this election cycle. So Donald Trump has a 100% success rate in his endorsement of incumbent senators. So things are looking really good. We're gonna not just hold the Congress. We're gonna gain. And these are going to be MAGA House members and MAGA senators. Now, this was a really revealing moment yesterday. This is one of our Republican congressmen, Brandon Gill. Did you see him yesterday? This guy, he's an up-and-coming star. See, we have all these up-and-coming stars in the MAGA Republican movement. Democrats have AOC and other lunatics. All right, but we have guys like this. See, he's questioning the Smithsonian director yesterday. Not this. See, this is what the Obama autopin Biden administration did. Put racist black militants in charge of government organizations like the Smithsonian Institution and turn them into racial hate groups. Yeah. She's not even, she's killing time. Since they didn't devise it, but they're using it as part of their curriculum. That's ridiculous. That's like saying that if some school has an inappropriate book, well, we didn't write or publish the book. We're just making it available to children, so don't blame us. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'd like to see those. Oh my goodness. But here she says Latina. All of a sudden, this Smithsonian white lady, she gets a Spanish accent when she says Latina. Listen. Oh, let me rewind it. Wait. Listen to her accent. Latina power. All of a sudden, she's got a Spanish accent. Cultural misappropriation, Smithsonian lady. There she. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, so's hers. See, he's a congressman from Texas, and we've got great up and comers. That was a great moment. This guy, He kind of looks like Christopher Reeves Clark Kent. If you saw him on TV yesterday, this is a real up and comer. This guy's going places. He may be the governor or senator from Texas in the future. He's very, very good, and he filleted that lady. And the Smithsonian's in big trouble. They're returning the Smithsonian into an anti-American racial hate organization. All right, now we are going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. If you're on hold, hang in there. If you'd like to call in, the number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. I want to talk about Jupiter Joe Thomas and annuities. You know, annuities are, I think, are one of the most amazing things out there. And let me tell you why I say that. That's because, you know, annuities, you know, your money's never at risk. But you're also, on top of that, guaranteed an income stream every month for the rest of your life. So every month for the rest of your life, you get a check deposited into your bank account the same day every month for the rest of your life. You add an income stream to yourself in your retirement. They are amazing. Give Joe Thomas a call and schedule your no-charge consultation, 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. He'll put together a custom proposal just for you based on your situation and your goals. Online, JupiterJoe.com. We'll be right back. Okay. All right. Hang in there, guys. Hang in there. Oh, man, we have so much to cover. Where am I? Where am I? Just queuing up some stuff for the next segment. Okay, I'll play that when we get back. Hang in there, guys. Okay. We'll be back in about 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. Okay, about 40 seconds, we'll be back. Hang in there. If you are on hold, don't go anywhere. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll-free and pinned in the live chat. All right, we're back. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. You know, that last clip about the Smithsonian yesterday, it really shows you another thing that the president saved us from. You know, this country was being taken over by racists. Make no mistake about it. And that exchange about this curriculum at the Smithsonian is disgusting. And it's gone now. And it's over, thankfully so. So the war in Iran is going incredibly well. You know, the president's goal in Iran is not regime change. Now, the liberals and the never-Trumpers, and by the way, most Republicans agree with that because President Trump has an 83% approval rating among Republicans in the latest CNN poll. But the president's goal has never been regime change in Iran. In fact, he said that's not from the first day. But the never-Trumpers, the Democrats, and the media have portrayed it as that. And it's not just Trump derangement syndrome. That's been the motivation and goal of most of the military conflicts we've been in for the last 80 years is regime change. President Trump's goal in Iran is not that. It's to have U.S. or some coalition control over the Strait of Hormuz. That's what the goal is, not regime change. We're not going to go in there and occupy a country again. The lessons of Vietnam and Iraq, right? President Trump knows. He lived through them both. He knows what he's doing. And but control of the Strait of Hormuz certainly is very, very, very much going to happen. So here's the president yesterday. This is during that press event with the president of Lebanon. And this is one of these fake news reporters asking the president about Iran. Don't you love it? How would you know? Do you know something I don't know? I'm the president of the United States. I can read the name tags on their uniforms with our spy satellite. Do you know something I don't know? I mean, don't you? I mean, what an idiot she is. She really, truly is. And you know what? She had to feel stupid. I love what he said there. Do you know something I don't know? So, you know, I was talking with a caller in the first hour, and I was talking about how President Trump saving lives just was shutting down the border. 2 more Americans dead because of one of the Obama-Biden dreamers, Breitbart, migrant, that's liberal code word for illegal, migrant truck driver who killed 2 Americans in crash was paroled into the United States by Biden's Department of Homeland Security. Oh my goodness. A non-English speaking Ukrainian migrant truck driver convicted of and by the way, Ukrainians are white. This is not just about black and brown people, Joy Reid, Sonny Halston, and all you other liberal idiots out there. A non-English speaking Ukrainian migrant truck driver convicted of killing 2 Americans in a deadly crash had been given humanitarian parole to live in the United States by Joe Biden's Department of Homeland Security. Oh my goodness. The Ukrainian national who doesn't speak the English was driving a semi-truck when he failed to stop at a red light and crashed into multiple cars. Do red lights not mean stop in Ukraine? Killing local high school coach, 53-year-old Woody Earl Beck III. Oh, my goodness. And 37-year-old Ashley Marie Springer McDonald. He pled guilty. Those are two Americans who would be alive today if Biden and Kamala Harris had not become president. That's your Democrat Party. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
How's it going, man? You're doing a great job again.
Thank you.
You know, you mentioned President Trump's speech. Most of the Republicans, conservatives I talk to, all are thinking that CNN, since it wouldn't even cover that speech, should be banned from the White House. And if you can't ban him, just put him in the back and no one will take another question from them. I mean, these guys, they wouldn't. The president of the United States, their job is supposed to be news. So I think that maybe the license should be revoked for something, man. Because how could they be a news organization and not hear the president of the United States?
You don't want to start doing that, because that all sounds fine and dandy while we're in power, but you set a precedent like that, and then the Democrats, when the Democrats. Hopefully, it'll be when I've died of old age, okay? But at some point, at some point, the Democrats are going to be back in power, and they'll use that precedent to shut down the conservatives. So no, you don't want to do that, man.
Well, I don't think that the conservative news outlets would ever not cover President Speech's Democrat or not. I mean,
it depends. I mean, it depends on what it is. I mean, maybe they're maybe they're coming out to talk to the Easter Bunny, and it doesn't get carried, and then all of a sudden they're after. Oh, you didn't carry the speech about the Easter Bunny. Oh, you understand what I mean? No, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, because the Democrats will don't matter if it's right or wrong. They do what they want to do.
Yep.
Yeah. The other thing I want to mention is CNN says President Trump has a high rating. I can imagine if it was done by Fox, it'd probably be even higher than that. Because how many people that are Republicans or Trump supporters would even talk to anybody from CNN?
Well, when they did that poll, and a lot of these Democrats claim to be Republicans, right? So, yeah, I would say among Republicans, his approval rating's at 90, 93%, 95%. I mean, I know a lot of Republicans. I don't know too many that don't approve of President Trump.
I don't know anybody who's a Republican who doesn't like President Trump. I don't know. Everybody, I get stopped when I put my Trump 28 hat all the time by people. Oh, man, thank you for wearing it, but everybody seems to love Trump. But
yeah.
We'll soon see in the midterms what's going to happen here. I think it's going to be.
Well, we're going to win. That's what's going to happen. We're going to win. We're going to win big, and we're going to gain in both houses. That's what's going to happen, and it's going to be exciting.
It'd be nice to see. And I'm hoping we get the Save America Act passed before that, because we want to make sure it's a safe election.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, listen, Doug. I gotta move on because time is short, and I'm more than halfway through the show already. What the heck? Where did the time go? And I started early with the pre-show. It's 7:41 already. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The governor's race here in Florida, Byron Donalds has in at least 50, and some polls even higher, but there are others running. And Fish Sticks has been in. I was worried about Fish Sticks a few months ago because he was all over the internet, and he did a town hall meeting at that MAGA grocery store over on the Gulf of America coast, and he was doing all these things. And then I saw the polls. He's like 10%, 9%. I saw one where he had 14%. He's it's all fake. He's not really a viable candidate. He just had a very good, however brief, social media operation going on. But he was in court yesterday. Listen to this. This is from the local news here in Florida, out of Tallahassee, Channel 8, which is an NBC affiliate out of Tallahassee. There was an expedited hearing that wrapped up early yesterday. The hearing was to determine whether gubernatorial Republican candidate James Fishsticks is eligible to run. The hearing comes after Florida's Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins, who was also running for governor, filed a lawsuit arguing that Fishsticks doesn't meet the state's 7-year residency requirement to run for office. Let me tell you, this Lieutenant Governor, I don't even know his name. What's his name? Jay Collins. The Lieutenant Governor is running a very nasty anti-Byron Donalds campaign. This is what you need to know. President Trump has endorsed Byron Donalds. That's it. That's all you need to know. Okay? If President Trump says vote for someone, you vote for him. The Lieutenant Governor was not elected. We had a lady Lieutenant Governor. She resigned to be the president of Florida International University in Miami. So this guy, I guess, got appointed. I don't know anything about it, but he's running a nasty campaign. Fishsticks claims he's only ever lived in Florida. The Lieutenant Governor and his team argue the court documents show a different story. The Lieutenant Governor's team presented a paper trail that shows Fishsticks was domiciled in D.C. The first witness was brought in by the Lieutenant Governor's campaign as an investigator to Fishsticks' residency records. They paid him $40,000 to $50,000 just to check out Fishsticks' residency. What the heck? What did the guy do for that? A Google search, probably. The Lieutenant Governor's campaign paid this witness $40,000 to $50,000 to gather records tied to Fishsticks' D.C. condo, mortgage documents, voter registration, and property tax filing. Heck, they could have paid me half that. I'd have done it. I'd have taken $20,000 to do a Google search. What mattered to me is that he was signing documents or was receiving a homestead exemption that showed he was domiciled in D.C. from 20 to 22. Fishsticks claims some of the paperwork was signed in a rush after the first purchase of his condo, blah, blah, blah. Then it goes into all of this. Let these guys fight it out. I mean, the Lieutenant Governor must not be very confident in his ability to beat Fishsticks. Let him fight it out. I guess we'll get the ruling on that soon. It was expedited. Let him run against each other. He's desperate to get Fishsticks out because if he's out on the primary, he'll have, I guess, some of the votes of the losers. He's still going to lose. And I really don't like this lieutenant. The Lieutenant Governor, I don't know too much about him, but everything's very negative about Byron Donalds. He's doing this. He paid a guy $40,000 to $50,000 to check the property records of another Republican who's a loser. Fishsticks. I mean, I don't like this guy. Do you? He seems a little. I don't know. We'll see. I'm a Byron Donalds guy. I want to talk about Dr. Appleton and his laser away pain treatment. You guys have heard me many times talk about how he's rid me of pain 7 times. He can do the same for you. I was talking about Jupiter Joe Thomas earlier. Jupiter Joe Thomas took his wife for leg pain to see Dr. Appleton on a Saturday, a week and a half ago, the Saturday before last. And when Joe Thomas was in studio on Friday, he said that his wife saw immediate relief after her very first treatment. It's amazing. It works. Stop suffering. There's no shots, no injections, no surgery, no pills, no downtime. The robotic laser treatment not only is 100% painless, you don't even feel it when it's happening. It works on every type of pain I've ever heard of. He's rid me of pain 7 times. None of the pains have returned. Appointments are not necessary, even on Saturdays, and the consultation is free. Stop living in pain. Go see Dr. Appleton. Give him a call and say bye-bye to your pain too. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. We'll be right back. Oh, man. All right, guys. Hang in there. Okay. Okay, we have just over a minute, but everybody on YouTube can hear, so I'm going to talk to them first, Ian, with you. You know, I've got Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot on the line, guys, and of course we're going to talk about the cruise. And you know, Ian, our cruise in March, you know, this is the 50th anniversary of the Steve Kane Show cruise.
I know, amazing.
I know.
I turned 50 this year.
Exactly. So, oh yeah, okay, perfect. So you're 50, the show's 50 years old. So we got 40 seconds, but those of you that are around the country, Ian can help you with your airfare and even with hotel stay on both sides of the cruise if you want to stay in Miami or Fort Lauderdale or something. So if you're an out-of-towner, Ian will take care of all of the airline and hotel arrangements as well. All right, we got 20 seconds, and if you book your airline travel with Ian for the cruise, you're guaranteed to make the ship. So that's very important. We got 10 seconds. Stand by.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. On the line is Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot. Our 11th annual Steve Kane, Brian Craig cruise is coming up in March. And I was telling you, Ian, during the break, next year is the 50th anniversary of the Steve Kane Show. This is our 50th anniversary cruise of the show. And I'm really excited about this. And I wanted to talk a little bit. We're going on the newest ship in the Celebrity fleet. It's brand new. It's their flagship. Can you talk a little bit about the ship?
Yeah, the Celebrity Excel is the flagship in the Celebrity fleet. It's the newest ship. It's slightly different than the other ships behind it, the Edge class ships. It has some new and exciting venues, new menus. Remember those drink menus at the bazaar? And it's really going to be a great time, and I can't wait to try some of the new items, new venues, and I hear the shows are going to be incredible when we're sailing.
Yeah, and in our MAGA cruise we do every year, you know, we have a lot of people that come that are couples. We have families that come, whole families. We have people that come from all over America. A lot of single people come, so if you're coming alone and you're single, don't worry, you're not going to be alone. You're going to have a great family with our cruise. And on this cruise, we've got some exciting destinations. We're going to the Cayman Islands. And where else are we going, Ian? I love the Caymans, by the way.
Yeah, the Caymans are awesome. We're going to 2 stops in Mexico, and we're going to the Bahamas. And in the Bahamas,
wait a minute, we have 4 stops.
Yeah, there's 4 stops.
Okay. I forgot. I remember when we were planning this, but you know, I forgot. Okay, so we're going to Nassau in the Bahamas, which is the water in Nassau is beautiful, guys, and we're going to have a great time there. Wait till soon we'll tell you what we're doing there. We're going to the Cayman Islands, which are famous for the 7 Mile Beach, and we have 2 stops in Mexico. This is great. I'd forgotten we have 4. That's a great deal. 4 stops. Have we done 4 stops before?
Not in a long time.
Yeah.
Not in a long time. Yeah.
Oh my
It's been
goodness.
some years.
Yeah.
We have some great activities planned in every port that are not off the shelf. They're very custom just for our group, and they really roll out the red carpet for our group.
Yeah, you know, we this is our 11th cruise, the 10th in a row with Celebrity, and Ian and we have a great relationship with Celebrity Cruise Line. And when we announced Ian is still negotiating, you know, some of the things on the excursions. They are I can safely say, Ian, they're the most spectacular, and this is saying a lot. These are the most because we have great excursions. These are the most spectacular excursions we've ever had. And one of them, I couldn't even believe it existed. Another one is something that only dignitaries and corporate executives are able to do, but we're going to be able to do it. And if you go with us, you're going to be paying less than anyone else on board the ship because we've got great group rates, but there's also some summer specials to combine with it.
Yeah, the group rates combine with all of the current promotions as well. And we got these rates because the ship was still under construction in Europe.
Yeah, that's right. We set this cruise up before the ship was even finished being built. And that's why we got such a great deal, as Ian said. Listen, I'm going to give you Ian's number at Cruise and Travel Depot. To join our MAGA cruise, you have to book through Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot. If you get his voicemail, leave a message. He will call you back. He could be on with another another listener, or he's a travel agent. He could be on a cruise. Who knows? So leave your name and number. He'll call you back. 561-244-5779. Call before these summer specials expire. 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. All right, Ian, we'll talk soon.
We will. Take care.
All right, take care. Join us, guys. You have a great time. All right, so the great Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, he just was cleaning everybody's clocks yesterday in Congress. This is him with this idiot Democrat, Congressman Peters. Oh my God, Pete Hegseth is the failure. What a jerk, Here's the thing, okay? Iran, on multiple occasions, has tried to kill the President of the United States. That alone is enough to nuke the whole country and turn the sand in the glass, okay? That's number one. So I don't want to hear anything that they didn't attack us and all this nonsense. And you know about the 47-year history. Every one of these Democrats would put on, when the Ukraine war started wearing Ukrainian flags on their lapels, standing to attention with Zelensky, and doing all this nonsense. Now, because Trump's president, they're against wiping out a government and getting a country in check that's been trying to kill the President of the United States. This is just Trump derangement syndrome times infinity. And Pete Hegseth did a darn good job yesterday. Here's another clip of him.
I think you did accurately portray me as a reformed neocon, and members of our generation in Iraq and Afghanistan watch administrations on both sides try to project some remaking of a society in the image of America that spent thousands of lives. In Iraq, 15, I don't know the exact number, but tens of thousands between Iraq and Afghanistan, men and women lost. President Trump said we're not fighting stupid wars with that again, and he hasn't. That's why we haven't been trying to remake Iranian society, but simply in a realist, America First way, ensure they never have a path to a nuclear bomb, full stop. And he has said, as a candidate, and he said as a private citizen, Iran can never have a nuclear weapon because radical Islamists with nuclear weapon will wield it over our head in perpetuity. So President Trump ran on fighting wars differently, and we're doing so overwhelmingly. And he was very clear as a candidate that Iran can never have a nuclear capability. So I think he's directly on par with his actions.
Yeah, I mean, and we've clearly won the war on day one. We're devastating what little is left with the goal of taking control of the Strait of Hormuz. These Democrats, they, just outed themselves yet again as anti-American. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Joellen from Fort Lauderdale.
Hey, Joellen.
Hey there. I heard you talking about Byron
Donalds, yes.
Anyways, yeah, you realize that DeSantis is backing that lieutenant governor.
I know he is, of course. Yeah, and he shouldn't even be involved in the primary. DeSantis is such a great governor, and he does a lot of great things, but he does some things he shouldn't be doing. He should not be involved in getting behind anyone during the primary. Wait till after.
Yeah, well, I think it says everything. I think it says everything. Going against Trump. I think he's going to. It wouldn't surprise me if he ran in 28, but we'll see. But
he might.
Anyways, I saw that.
I'm surprised. I was surprised. I thought DeSantis was going to run for Senate because we have that open seat. But he's not. So I don't know what his plans are. He might end up being on the board. I predicted that he could end up on the board of directors at Disney, when this is over because, he backed off on Disney. I would not be surprised. Usually when people leave office, they go out and try to make some money, and he's alienated so many people, Governor DeSantis, it might be difficult for him to do that as opposed to other Republicans. I don't know. All right, Joellen.
Anyways, I drive up to by Mar-a-Lago every weekend because I work up there. And when I saw that sign for the airport, it was like I started
it's beautiful.
I was so excited.
It's
to see
beautiful.
that.
Did you see my video, my tour of the Donald John Trump International Airport on YouTube?
No, I haven't.
Oh, I went there. I went there day one and gave an entire tour of Donald John Trump International Airport. It's on my YouTube channel. You got to watch it.
Oh, okay.
Just a little warning. I'm a little giddy in it because I'm excited, but that's okay. Did you see what United Airlines is doing? United Airlines is giving people free upgrades to land in a different airport if they don't want to land at Donald John Trump. I'm not kidding. It was in the news a couple days ago. All right, Joe. I'm out of time for the hour. Got to run. We're out of time. All right. We'll take our break for the top of the hour and be right back after this. Oh, boy. I tell you, guys, these Democrats, hang in there. Let me cue some things up here. All right. Stand by. This is our top of the hour break. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes, guys. So if you're on hold, hang in there. If you'd like to call in, you're welcome to do so. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are watching. And if you've not already done it, guys, please like the video. When you like the video, you get the video recommended to people that have not yet found the channel. So please like the video if you've not already done it. And thank you in advance for doing that. Yes, President Trump has an 80, you heard that right. President Trump has an 83% approval rating. I opened the show with it. I'll go over it again in a few minutes. Yes. In fact, maybe I'll start the hour with that. I was going to start with something else, but I'll, for people that weren't listening then, well, first off, shame on you. You shouldn't miss a second of the show, but if you did, yeah, I'll play it again for you guys off the air, but I'll play it on the radio too. Yeah, there you go. So I'll play that when we get back on the radio. Let me check the times here. All right, we're still in radio break. We'll be back shortly, guys. Oh, man. Oh, boy. This is just a great day of news, isn't it? Absolutely. It's a great day of news. The Democrats are a clown show. I absolutely agree. The Democrats are a clown show. I mean, you know, when Jasmine Crockett says rooting for Spain is racist, it's white supremacy, I mean, yeah, they're a clown show. Just over a minute, guys. We'll be back. 30 seconds, 30 seconds. All right, the 8 o'clock hour has begun. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. I got some great news to share for those of you that are just tuning in from CNN that I opened with, but I feel obligated to share at the top of every hour, maybe even multiple times an hour as I've been doing, because this is a story that's a great story that much of the media will not want to share. But first, let's talk about life imaging. You know, I want to ask you this. Most of you out there, like me, have known people that have had heart attacks. Sometimes they've not made it, sometimes they have. When you have known someone in your personal circle who's had a heart attack, how many times has everyone said, including you, oh, I knew that was coming? I've never heard that. Every single person that I've known, regardless of how old they are or how young they are or anywhere in between, when they have a heart attack, I hear the same story. What a shock. Who knew? He went to the gym 3-4 times a week. He went golfing every weekend. He was mowing the lawn the other day. I hear all these stories. I never hear people say, oh, we knew it was coming. It's always a shocker, isn't it? Pretty much. But it doesn't have to be a shock. In fact, if you go to life imaging, you get the heart scan, okay? And you can find out that you've got plaque, you've got blockage before that widow or widower making heart attack hits, okay? You know, life imaging, they have locations in Broward County, Palm Beach, Dade, and Orlando. There's no excuse to get peace of mind or find out that you've got an issue with your heart that you're not aware of, which people all the time find out at life imaging. Call Life Imaging for your free heart scan now with a few minimum requirements valued at $699. From your cell, call pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250, just say free heart scan. When you're over there, make sure you ask about their full body cancer screening as well as their full body virtual colonography. And also say goodbye to sedation. There's none of that over there, and the scan just takes a few short minutes. Again, that's pound 250, just say free heart scan. Pound 250, just say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. Okay, let me get to this poll, and then I've got some other stories I want to talk about. This is an important poll. Let me just play it. I'll explain it and tell you why this is such an important poll that I'm spending so much of the show on today. Okay, so this is a poll of Republicans, and what CNN did here was just absolutely beautiful to give us context of the significance. President Trump has an 83% approval rating by Republicans. It is the highest approval rating of any second-term president at this same point in their second term in the 21st century. And I know a lot of people say, oh, the 21st century, Y2K was just the other day. No, it's 2026. We are over 1/4 of the way through the 21st century now, okay? Obama's approval rating among Democrats at this point in his second term was only 76%. Bush, among Republicans at this point, 78%. So President Trump's approval rating is 7 points higher than Obama, the first black president at this point in his second term. That's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Now, a couple more things about this. For those of you that say, well, that's just Republicans, so what? Who cares what Democrats think? They're not going to vote for him anyway. I mean, I had callers today upset that Trump's keeping the killers and rapists out of the country, okay? I mean, there's nothing Trump's going to do and that's going to get them to support him. When it comes to President Trump and Republicans running for the Senate and the House and governors, it only matters what Trump's approval rating is among Republicans because the Democrats are never going to vote for him. And you may say, well, he's not running, it's the midterm. His endorsement is, Trump is running. Every Republican name on the ticket really is Trump. And his endorsement is important, and it shows the power of his endorsement. And finally, CNN, what is CNN doing here? CNN's part of the Democrat Party establishment. The Democrat Party establishment are trying to lose the election. CNN is trying to discourage Democrat turnout. They want to lose so they can blame the loss on the Democrat socialist of communist America, okay? So that is all incredibly great news. And, also about that is, and I was talking about this earlier, and it's an important point to understand, is that the Democrats, the never-Trumpers, and the mainstream media, I do believe over the last couple of weeks, have had success through their biased news coverage on the war with Iran to convince people that the Republican base has turned against Trump. And now that this poll has come out, we know that's not true. His support is stronger than ever, stronger than any other president of the 21st century at 83%. So think about it. I mean, what are they going to learn? 11 years, President Trump has had nothing but negative news coverage every single day for almost 12 years. And still he's at 83%. He's invincible. He is invincible. So, did any of you catch Bret Baier last night? This is Bret Baier. This is amazing what Trump's doing here. Okay, so this is insane. The New York Times was trying to get President Trump killed, as well as everybody else on the aircraft. So just to remind you what happened, President Trump flew to Turkey, which borders Iran. Think about that. So he's flying into the war zone during the hot war. And he's flying over there on the new Air Force One, the gift from Qatar. I say Qatar. I know they like to say Qatar all the time. Remember how they used to spell on Fox, Osama bin Laden? They used to spell it Usama with a U. They like to be different over there. I don't know. It's Kiev, not Kiev. They got all these things. They pronounce in words in weird ways. But anyway, so President Trump is in Turkey. He flies there on the new Air Force One. Turkey borders Iran, and it's a Muslim country. So while Turkey is allied with us, you know there's a lot of Iranian and Muslim lunatics throughout Turkey. The largest mosque in the world is in Turkey. It used to be a Catholic church long ago. And it borders Iran, and there's rockets flying all over the place. And then the New York Times decides, while the president's in the war zone, to report on classified information. Oh yeah, the new Air Force One that the president's in the war zone on? Oh, it can't repel rocket attacks. What the heck? They were trying, and then the next day, what do we hear? Iran's planning on shooting it down. So President Trump had to take the old Air Force One. That doesn't mean the new one's not capable, but there was an elevated risk. They were citing White House sources. The White House has been searching cell phones. Kash Patel last week took over an office in the West Wing next to Susie Wiles, and they were examining the cell phones of all the West Wing workers because they're using government phones. They fired one guy who was doing polymarket bets on things that involve White House action. Now they're trying to get the phone records of these traitor New York Times reporters. You know, the media, why do they think they have the right to report a story that could get the President of the United States killed on Air Force One, as well as everyone that's on Air Force One? And I don't think they thought this through. Air Force One isn't just filled with the President and the staff and cabinet members. It also has the White House press corps fly on that aircraft. They didn't think that far ahead. They were just excited. What the New York Times did put the President of the United States at risk and everyone else that was on Air Force One that day. They reported the Pentagon Papers in the 70s, when Daniel Ellsberg gave all this classified information to the Washington Post about the war in Vietnam, and they printed it, and the Pentagon challenged it. It went all the way to the Supremes, and the Supreme Court made a ruling that I just don't understand. They said that it is illegal to, if you're a government employee or a regular citizen like you or me, it's illegal to take classified documents and give them to members of the media. But it's not illegal for members of the media to accept the documents and report on them. Well, I'm a member of the media. Does that mean people can give me classified intel and I can broadcast it? I don't think so. Only the Washington Post and the New York Times and these left-wing fake news outlets, I guess, are allowed to do that. What they did was treason at the New York Times. Absolute treason. Nothing short of it. Holy smokes. Who do I want? Who do I got to talk about here? Oh, of course, Lighthouse Medical Center. If you or someone you know or love suffer from neuropathy, call Lighthouse Medical Center. When you call and you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show, the consultation is free. They are literally saving lives at Lighthouse Medical because, I was telling this to Steve last week. I didn't realize how advanced neuropathy got. I knew it caused dizziness. I know people would stumble around. It was painful. It was uncomfortable. I understood that because I'd seen Steve, and I've seen a couple of people over the years that have had it, but they had the early stages. And then when I was over at Lighthouse Medical Center and I ran into some of our listeners, one of which had advanced neuropathy, I didn't realize how bad it gets. Oh my goodness. But no matter what stage of neuropathy you are in, Lighthouse Medical Center can help you, like they've helped Steve Kane and many listeners get their life back and rid you of neuropathy. It works. They have a treatment for neuropathy that works and it lasts. Steve had his treatment over 4 years ago. It's not returned. Get your life back. Be able to go on vacations. Be able to drive again. Be able to travel. Be able to go out to dinner. Be able to go to the mall. Give Lighthouse Medical Center a call. And if you have a loved one that has neuropathy, call for them. It is very common for spouses, children, and grandchildren to take their loved one to Lighthouse Medical. Call and make the appointment. A lot of people have neuropathy, they can't drive. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. We'll be right back. Okay. Okay, guys, hang in there. Okay. Okay. Okay, hang in there, guys. Yep. Okay, we'll be back in just over a minute. Oh, man. Those of you that are watching on the live stream with the green screen behind me, that see the green, if you go to my other live stream on YouTube, you can see and hear all the videos and everything I play. So jump over there, you can see and hear everything, all right? Less than a minute, we'll be back. Okay. All right, 15 seconds. All right, we're back. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. This is Fox News reporting on the 6,000 foreigners registered to vote in New Jersey. You know what I'm not hearing? Okay, did they vote? Has it been reported whether they voted or not? I keep hearing they're registered. Do we know if any of them voted? Okay, now I hear that when they applied for a driver's license. Now, I remember back in the 90s, I tell you, the Democrats have been playing the long game. Remember, we used to talk about the dangers of this. Remember the motor voter bills all around the country? The Democrats were running around this has kind of been forgotten. I tell you, I have a long memory. I remember everything, okay? Very, very long memory about these things, and it comes in handy, I'm here to tell you. Back in the 90s, during the Clinton era, the Democrats were pushing motor voter bills all over the country, giving illegals driver's licenses. And of course, the Republicans fought hard against it. And they fought against it you know what the main reason? Do any of you remember? Anytime, I'm going to tell you what it is in a moment, but think about it. I'm not going to troll for call. I hate when people are doing shows and they ask a question like that, and then they go to take calls to have people guess. That's called killing time with no talents that have nothing to say. But think about it. What do you think? I'm going to tell you in a moment. What do you think was the number one reason Republicans in the 90s said, you do not want to give illegals driver's licenses? What do you think it was? I'll tell you in a moment. But the Democrats were pushing this all over, mainly California. And any time that we would argue against it, I would get calls about this. And of course, the politicians on TV, well, they're here. You don't want them on the roads without a driver's license, do you? Well, we don't want them on the roads at all. But you don't want them out there without a driver's license. You take driver's license away from drunks. There's a lot of people we don't want on the road. Well, when Republicans were saying the worst thing you could do is to give illegals driver's licenses, it is very dangerous to do, had nothing to do with all the people they're murdering on the roads, that we hear about all the time. Republicans in the 90s said, if you give illegals the driver's license, they're going to get the voter registration card. Because all you need to register to vote is the driver's license. And here we are, and there's illegals and non-citizens all over the U.S. that are registered to vote. And all you get from the Democrats is, oh, it's no big deal. It's only 250,000 out of 60-some million voters. Oh, it's only 6,600 registered in New Jersey. No, it's not just 6,600 in Jersey. They found a batch of 6,600 in Jersey. We don't know how many others there are, but they found 6,600. Okay? So it's not just 6,600. All right, let's get back to this, though. Fox News. I'll rewind it and play it without it stopping it. Some of them voted. Well, let's round them up and prosecute them. They broke the law. Anybody buy that this was a software? You know what this was? You know what this was? You go there. What's the worst place to go? You know, where's the worst place to go? You don't have to go very often. You only have to go every decade or so. The DMV. And who works at the DMV? Miserable government workers who are on, and do you notice when you go to the DMV, out of all of the government offices, and I've been to a lot of different government offices, they're the nastiest, aren't they? They are nasty at the DMV. And you know what that tells me? They're liberals, they're Democrats. So what's gone on here is we have Democrat activists working at the DMVs, probably not just in New Jersey, probably all over the country, who, when someone who's a non-citizen comes in, they're registering them to vote. It's not the non-citizen that's doing it, necessarily. It's the Democrat who works at the DMV. Oh my goodness, that is such BS. Even when they put no, the Democrat hack checked on the computer yes. I promise you that's what's happening. And you know, I would not be surprised, out of this 6,600, I bet you a big chunk of them came from the same DMV office. You know, if anybody's listening over at Mar-a-Lago, I know it's the summer, it's closed down over there now, but call Todd Blanche, have him send somebody to Jersey and find out how many of the 6,600 came from the same DMV office. Right? You might have one or two Democrat activist nutbags doing this in Jersey. I don't buy this software. Do you guys buy the software glitch or a Democrat working at the DMV? Oh, 400. Remember, 400. Oh, it's only 400 voted. You know how many voted in this? I told you guys. In 2000, George W. Bush won the presidency by about 150 votes in Florida. Yeah, and some of these local elections could easily have been flipped because of that. I mean, this is some bad news, people. All right, listen. Oh my goodness, I'm late for the bottom of the hour break. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we're still in radio break. We'll be back in about 90 seconds. If you're on hold, stand by. I'll take some calls when we get back. And if you'd like to call in, the number is toll-free, and it's listed it's pinned in the chat, all right, in the live chat, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. All opinions are welcome. Whether you agree or disagree, you're welcome to call in. We got just over a minute. Okay, got that. Oh my goodness. The next break's going to get very crazy and chaotic, so you won't want to miss that. It's going to be very chaotic back here during the next break. I got to do some crazy stuff. All right, 45 seconds. Oh man, what do you guys think? Do you think that there was a crooked Democrat activist registering these illegals at the DMV? I do. And I don't think they've got so much detail. Everything's so computerized. I think they could track that person down. I think they could easily track that person down and bring that criminal to justice, because that is got to be a serious felony. Less than 10 seconds. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi. Wait 1 second.
Oh, sure.
My phone's connecting to my call.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. We'll all wait. Nothing else to do.
Dude, I am so sorry. Honestly.
That's okay. That's okay. That just builds up.
To debate you and.
To debate me?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go. Let's rumble.
I'm here. I'm calling up to debate you, and here I am bumbling like an idiot.
Well, that's standard for Democrats.
Oh, I'm not a Democrat.
Oh, of course. Okay. Go. I'm waiting for your brilliance, the oracle of debate here. Let's go.
All right. So you're saying that you still support Trump after all these years, after the convicted rapist. You're saying that you want to support a convicted rapist.
I find it interesting that you like saying that word with such emphasis, which is very disturbing. But he is not a convicted rapist. That is not true. You're just not informed. Hello? Earth to liberal. Earth to liberal. Okay, the line came back on.
I'm not a liberal either.
I know, I can tell, I know. So, since you had to have had time to think of an answer to my reply to your stupid question, but I'll say it again. You're very misinformed. President Trump was not convicted of rape. That is not true. That is inaccurate.
Yes, he was.
No, he wasn't.
Was convicted by a jury. No, you listen. This is a debate. One person talks, you let the other person talk, then I let you talk.
No, excuse me. It's my show, and I'm letting you talk. You don't let me talk. I'm letting you talk.
Well, yes, that is true.
Okay.
But it's hard whenever.
I know. Whenever you get an answer and you have to think as a liberal, I know that makes it very hard. No, he was found. There was a.
I'm not a liberal, goddammit.
Okay, all right. First dump of the day. Oh my goodness. I think we broke a record. It is 8:35 and 15 seconds. I think this is the longest we've gone into the show until we had to use the dump in quite some time. I think we may have broken a record. Usually it happens earlier in the show. Oh my goodness. If you're on hold, stand by while we wait for the delay to re-engage. Those of you that don't know what the delay is, when you're listening to the program, it depends on what radio station you're listening to us on or what platform, but the delay is at least 7.5 seconds. Sometimes it's longer. What you're listening to was 7.5 to 10 seconds in the past. I'm like a time traveler. I'm really 7.5 seconds to 10 seconds in the future from what you're hearing. And the reason that is when people use language that's not allowed, we have to disconnect the call and hit the dump button so it doesn't go out over the air. So when you hear me reference the dump button, that's what I'm referring to. Even if you're listening online, there's a delay. While we're waiting for the delay to build back up, let me play this next soundbite. You know, the Democrats have no issues, no platform. They have no reason to say, vote for us, we're going to do A, B, and C. I've been telling you that for weeks. Here's a Democrat congressman on MS Now. We don't have a plan. He's a congressman.
We're not able to say what actually Democrats should do to fix the problem. All we are is opposition to Trump. You know, under Biden, we said inflation is not really a big deal. It's transitory. It's going to go away. And then the whole party said, hey, don't worry. Everything's great. Joe is awesome. He can run for re-election. So the point is, we have this history of kind of just like washing over problems and not addressing real concerns that voters have. We got to make sure we don't do that.
Okay, so they've got no platform, no issues. He's a sitting Democrat, sitting member of Congress with the Democrat Party. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning.
Yes, IB.
Hey, that was pretty brilliant. The person in the DMV randomly handing out the illegal people who already jumped the border ID, driver's license, which then they automatically register them. That means they have a social at one point, because you have to have a social to get the driver's license. So then they wait till after the election. So then if those people don't go in person, like you said, Brian, that's brilliant. If they don't go in person, they still have those names registered somewhere, and then they can just pick off who didn't register and then go ahead and make the phony ballots.
No, when people go, I think what happens is when people are going for their driver's license, okay, when people are going for their driver's license, the DMV worker that's processing it is registering them to vote regardless. He's registering them as a Democrat. He's checking the box on the computer screen in Jersey and registering them to vote. It's probably just, it may just be one person.
Whether they wanted it or not.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
This goes to show you that their internal polls already showed that Trump was going to win in a landslide in 24 anyway, and they have to still cheat because that's their nature.
That's right.
And we have to. This is why.
Well, listen, I'm really short on time, IB. I'll give you the last word. Yep,
Save America Act.
Okay, there you go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Stay there from
Hey, JJ.
You know,
Oh, by the way, hold on, JJ. Before JJ starts, I want to talk about life imaging. When I talk about life imaging, this is more of a public service announcement than it is a commercial in so many ways. I mean, you've heard the calls. I've gotten calls from people on this program that have called me. Some of them are on recorded commercials and said, Brian, I went to Life Imaging FLA and I found out I had blockage I didn't know, or another condition I didn't know. I was having lunch a couple weeks ago with a friend of mine. They said, hey, Brian, I took your advice. I went to Life Imaging and they told me about a problem they found. I'm not going to say what it is because I don't, they're a friend of mine and there were others there, but they found out about a problem they had no idea that they had, but they had that heart scan at Life Imaging. Or I've gotten calls from listeners that said they went over there, they had the cancer screening too, and one listener found out he had a tumor. That was it was either the size of a baseball or a softball. I can't remember, but either one. I mean, that's way big. Call Life Imaging FLA for your free heart scan now with a few minimum requirements valued at $699. From your cell, call pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250. Just say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. Remember, they have locations in Broward, Dade, Palm Beach, and Orlando. And when you're there, make sure to ask about their full body cancer screening as well as their full body virtual colonography and say goodbye to sedation. That's again, pound 250, pound 250 on your cell phone, and you'll be connected in seconds. Life Imaging, give them a call. All right, go ahead, JJ.
Hey, just this week in general is what I was thinking with some things that happened today. It's sort of like, I don't know, I guess you could say the emotional triggers have been pulled, but none of the parachutes haven't opened for these people. I mean, I'm thinking back, Monday, Tuesday, and today. You got the cab driver guy from San Francisco who talked about the 4 illegals outside of your house, and you were going to give them like free lemonade with ice, which I thought was hysterical.
Yes.
Grade two.
I didn't think anybody caught that. I didn't think anybody caught that joke. When I said it, because it was, the best humor is the kind that you don't overemphasize, little just kind of drop it.
I just envisioned Brian's free lemonade with ice stands all over the place, but nobody's showing up, especially in the Home Depot.
Maybe I should do that. It's summertime. Maybe ICE should go out there and open up lemonade stands.
Get them, hook them. I thought about that in a way. You know how they used to get the criminals with the you won the lotto, just show up. They all go and they're gonna win something.
Or you're winning the tickets to see the Yankees.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, they used to do that.
Show up to get it, and then they arrest everybody.
Oh, that was great.
Maybe they are doing that. We just haven't heard about it.
No, I think the courts. That was a big controversy, and they may not be able to do that anymore.
They may have outlawed it.
I haven't heard about that in a while.
They like to get rid of it. You were talking about the voter rolls today, which is one of the reasons I called in, and the lady, now they're kind of admitted it, but only like 600. That's just one place. In L.A. County, I saw this just the other day. It reminded me. Judicial Watch sued L.A. County back in 2017. They ended up finding over 1 million registrations on there that were fraudulent in one way or the other. 1 million in L.A. County. Now that's a big county, but still.
Well, JJ, if you when it's election night, I follow it really closely. These elections, House seats are won by a couple hundred votes regularly. Okay, regularly.
Yep.
It doesn't take much to swing the House. And it really doesn't. So, I know there's only 250,000 among 4 states, 60-some million vote, or there's only 6,600. You could take half a dozen House seats with 6,600 votes properly placed. You could.
Yeah, you absolutely could. I think that, if we had, I've said this to more than a few people, if we actually had an honest election, where everything was just, pure as the driven snow, 100% honest election, the Democrats, they might have 30%. Republicans, we would overwhelm them. This country is not as crazy as the media.
The United States we were founded by Puritans, okay? This is a very conservative country. And listen, JJ, I'm up against the last break, so I got to run. Things are going to get real crazy for the next few minutes. You will not want to miss the next few minutes of the show because you may not even notice that things are crazy, but things could really get nuts for me. I got a lot going on in the next few minutes. I've got to coordinate about 16 things in the next 90 seconds. So the whole show could fall apart. All right? Yeah. So, just a little tease to keep listening, because this could be a train wreck in a minute, okay, with what I got to do in this break. All right. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. We'll take our last break, come back with the Gold Report. Don't go anywhere. All right, when we have about 30 seconds.
Okay.
Okay. All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with today's Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how are the metals looking on this Wednesday?
Metals are looking very good after yesterday's big rally and last week's key reversal for the precious metals. We're seeing some good increases here. Yesterday we saw gold gain $69.70 to $4,076.70. Silver gained $2.38 yesterday, closing at $58.66 the ounce, while platinum was up $31 at $1,623, and palladium was up $24 at $1,261. Overnight, the rally continued for the metals, with gold hitting a high of $4,143 at one point. Right now, we're at $4,125 the ounce. That's up $48.30. Silver up 54 cents at $59.20. We did get right just a little over $60 earlier this morning. We pulled back a little bit. We're right at $59.20. Platinum up $27 at $1,650. And palladium up $40 at $1,301. So now the big question remains, have we seen the bottoms? Are the lows in? And are we going to start to rally back to higher numbers? There's some resistance levels for the metals that they have to get through before that can be confirmed. But as of now, the metals look like a very good buying opportunity.
Yeah, right now, what are some of the best buys when it comes to gold right now? These are great prices, and I know people are looking to get in. What would you recommend when it comes to gold today?
Pretty much all of the products are still are at normal premiums right now. They haven't risen above those premiums that we have seen in the past, but you can pick and choose any product that you like and get a very good value for your money. I want to remind everybody that be careful what you do buy when you're buying from other marketers or retailers or telephone operators or anything like that. You shouldn't be paying huge premiums for any kind of gold bullion or products. You should keep those premiums under 3%. So watch your premiums on people who are trying to sell some of these metals at big numbers.
Yeah, they huge numbers. And another thing that these people online and you see on television, you're getting your name on telemarketing lists and all kinds of lists, and you're on list of people you're telling them that you're buying gold and platinum and silver, and that just doesn't seem smart to give that kind of information to strangers and get on list that you're a buyer of precious metals, William. That's not what I would want to do. With you, everything's always private, confidential, and nothing like that is kept.
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah, give William Youngerman a call. He opens up at 10 a.m., 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. Or stop in Boca at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway, just east of US 1 on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. And you can find both his address and phone number on his website, WilliamYoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day.
All right, take care. All right, and I told you I got a lot of coordination. So far, so good. Everything's going A-OK. We're a little behind on our break, so we've got a back-to-back call in here, which is very unusual. But we're going to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. You know, I just want to, on a personal note, someone in my immediate family just finished their entire revocable living trust with the Siegel Law Group, and they were over at the house yesterday just praising you and your entire staff. You guys did a great job, and of course, and on top of that, they already had a trust with an attorney from many years ago and found out it was so dated, it was a trust in name only, Barry.
Well, I appreciate that you're mentioning this, and that I'm very happy to hear they had a great experience. That's what we're aiming for. We want to be worthy of a 5-star Google review from every client.
Absolutely.
And that's our goal, is to provide that level of service and expertise.
Well, mission accomplished.
Thank you. Well, today I was going to talk about a situation that I'm seeing happen over and over again. I have like 3 different scenarios that are all happening. They're all quite similar. One family, the person who's in his 80s has long-term care insurance, but has been reluctant to use it, and because of that has been spending down his assets and is nearly broke, just because he wanted to save it. He hasn't used it. I have another situation where I have a family where they don't have long-term care insurance. The mother needs help, and the adult daughter, out of guilt and care, has quit her position, even though she has 3 young kids of her own to deal with, plus a job, plus a spouse, plus all of this, and now because this person has not done any planning with either long-term care insurance or Medicaid planning or anything, this child is now changing their entire life, losing their livelihood and everything to take care of the mom, which I understand, and I know in a lot of cultures and families that's how it's done, but they could have prevented that by having long-term care or Medicaid planning taken care of. And then finally, Brian, I had another family come in just the other day, and the same thing. The daughter quit her career as a teacher to come back home and take care of mom. They didn't have long-term care, no Medicaid, and these are the kinds of things that are results of the lack of planning. It's not just the money; it's that you're disturbing family, whether it's the spouse or the child. It's changing their lives, and then these people don't get any breaks. They're 24/7 having to take care of the parent, and it can have a toll on them, on their lives, on their mental health, on their physical health.
Yeah.
So it's important to make sure that you have a plan.
Absolutely, and guys out there listening, please don't make the mistake of assuming that you have too much money, or you're too rich, or you won't qualify. Call the Siegel Law Group. Schedule your no-charge in-office consultation, and Attorney Barry Siegel and his expert team that handle this all day, every day, and have for many, many years, they'll let you. I think you'll be shocked to find what you qualify for. And remember, during the month of July, in honor of America's 250th anniversary, Attorney Barry Siegel is offering $1,000 off. But you got to mention that when you call, okay? Give the Siegel Law Group a call. Yeah.
I was just going to say, time's running out. We have about a week left on
That's
that
right.
offer. It's $1,000 off any of our trust plans. You have to, of course, come in and get started before the end of July.
Yeah, and you've got to mention it when you call, okay? 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk later in the week.
All right, fine.
Okay, take care. Now, I got to tell you, I did about 16 things during the break in the last few minutes. Everything went off perfectly. I was waiting for disaster, so. But that make the show interesting, because, you know, I remember, anybody remember the Mark Scheinbaum show? Oh, my goodness. That show was a disaster every night it was on. I never missed it. Because of the disaster. It was kind of like Candace Owens, but on the radio, right? Okay, so what's been going on statewide or nationwide since President Trump's since President Trump's address to the nation last week about the elections and the voters and all this. Remember, all the liberals said, oh, there was nothing to see here, nothing. And all I'm seeing now are reports of all these illegals and non-citizens that are registered to vote and voting all over the country. This is Jake Tapper on CNN. Oh, it's a terrible problem to have, yeah. You know, by the way, they call her Mikey. What is Mikey short for? What's her full name? Does anyone know? I don't know. I don't know. I've never known a girl named Mikey. I'm telling you, the Save America Act, it's going to pass. When you have CNN, Jake Tapper, when you have CNN reporting that, hey, this isn't good, the Save America Act, it's helping to save America. It's over. It's over for these people trying this. President Trump, when he made that address to the nation, it was almost universal in the media that what a waste of time. There's nothing to see here. Where there's the evidence? Where's the receipts? And now, boom. And Todd Blanche, our great attorney general, is investigating this in Jersey. And wait until they investigate. Todd Blanche is smart. He knows exactly, he thinks just like Trump. And I think they're going to have major arrest in New Jersey over this. And I love how they're trying to make it a joke. Well, it's just 6,600. It's just 400 voted. Those are the ones that they caught. But it shows that it's happening. And, I bet you, I would not be surprised that, all these truck drivers that are killing people on American roads that have these CDL licenses from California, how many of them do you think are registered to vote? Like this Ukrainian that killed these 2 Americans, or this other guy that killed the 3 people on the turnpike here in Florida. How many of these truck drivers do you think are registered to vote in the states that gave them the driver's licenses? And, it's so amazing. Back in the, I was talking about in the 90s when the motor voter bill was being discussed. When the motor voter bill was being discussed, how the Republicans were saying, hey, they're gonna register to vote. And they says, oh, no, they won't. No, they won't. So many, in fact, most everything that Republicans said that if this happens, if this passes, if the Democrats get their way, this will be the result, it's happened. Like, I remember, too, all the gay rights activists in the 90s, right? And Pat Robertson and Jerry Falwell the 700 Club, all these the Christian Coalition, they all said, if they get this, you're going to have men who wear dresses getting married to other men. Oh, you're nuts! That'll never happen, you homophobic bigot. Here we are. All right. If you let them get this, you're going to have men in the women's room. That'll never happen in the women's room. Come on, you homophobe. If you give them that license, they're going to be registered to vote. You bigot, you don't like the Mexicans. Shut up, you're a racist. Everything that the Republicans said would happen has happened and more. All right, listen, if you're on hold, stand by. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. taking your calls. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. All right, guys, we're clear. All right. Hey, listen, everyone. Thanks for joining. And if you're new, welcome to the show. I am live every morning of the week, 7 days a week here on YouTube, and always taking live calls like I'm doing now. So if you're new, subscribe. And everyone, please like the video. When you like the video, you get the video recommended to people that have not yet found my channel, and that really helps grow the channel. So please make sure you like the video, all right? My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk.